Welcome back to What's Up Aboard TV and What's Up Aboard the podcast. My name is Wardy Ward, and I'm the host of this self-help podcast that offers the everyday hero a safe forum to share his or her story. Our motto is everybody has a story to tell, but we just want to know what's yours.
Course.
From our exciting guests and my research, you can always expect to hear about love, life, relationships, and everything in between. But before we get started, Kobe, why don't you give us that PSA?
Wardy, I just graduated nursing school, and let me tell you, it is expensive. Matter of
Man.
fact, too expensive. And families are looking at every day for ways to avoid student loan debt because Joe Biden may forget he said he was forgiving those debts again.
He
But
does forget stuff.
scholarships and free financial aid are definitely the solutions. And I encourage every student to make a serious effort to apply. Fortunately enough, we have a solution for you all. Shay Spivey has created a book that can save you thousands of dollars. The book is called Scholarship Success: Strategies to Submit a Winning Scholarship Application.
Mhm.
If you want to go to school for free 99, please consider purchasing her book on Amazon. Again, it's called Scholarship Success by Shay Spivey, and you can thank us later.
Awesome. All right. Returning back to the episode. My guest today is a classic man who knows something about everything. His claim to fame is being a sneakerhead that can get Nike shoes that Nike can't even get. He's a community activist, an all-around stand-up guy. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming Anthony Allen Sr. to the show. Woo-hoo. Yeah. All right.
I don't call myself a sneakerhead, but I'll take it.
Okay. All right then. Well, before I get to that sneaker question, then I definitely want to thank you for taking time out to bless the What's Up Award podcast and TV show here today. But can you just
Thanks
tell
for
us
having
who you are first and where were you born at and what size shoe do you wear?
who I am. I'm
Oh.
still trying to figure that out.
Mm.
I am Gary, Indiana. I am the youngest of 5.
Okay.
And I'm a father of 3, a husband. Been married. It'll be 18 years this year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what my story is.
All right. Well, we'll sift through this and we'll definitely get to the bottom of that. So you said you're from Gary, Indiana, huh?
Yes, sir.
Did you know Michael, Janet, Jermaine,
See,
Tito?
one day.
Any of
So
them?
my siblings did go to high school with them before they left.
Okay.
That's great.
Okay.
My siblings are the next closest to me is 10 years older than me. So there's a huge gap in the age difference between myself and my siblings.
Okay.
So my oldest brother, he's deceased now. He was murdered when I was entering my senior year in high school.
Okay.
He and my mother-in-law were born on the same day,
Mm.
to give
Wow.
some perspective of what that age difference is. My brother was 18 years. He had graduated from high school the year I was born.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay. So
That is
so you didn't get no hand-me-downs then, right?
crazy.
I got plenty. I even put on a couple of pairs of stacks.
Oh, wow. Mm-mm. Man, Gary is a rough place, and I'm sorry to hear that your brother was murdered like that up there. I know that's a rough place to be there, man. How did you survive those winters up there, or did you just kind of get used to that?
I didn't know any different. So
Mm.
um, I remember, you hear people telling stories about how things were when they were a kid. Now I'm an old man telling my story about what the snow was like as a kid walking to school when it's up to your thighs. You know, the winters are mild in Indianapolis compared to what it was like back home.
Hmm.
Uh,
Ooh, I'm never
it,
going to Gary. I
it's,
can't do
it,
the winter here.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's you know you have snow in November there,
Hmm.
and you just don't see snow in Indianapolis until it might be January,
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but it's nice and cold.
Yeah. Definitely get your full winter up there in Gary.
Oh yeah,
Now, when you grew up in Gary, did you have a two-parent household?
No, my dad was much older than my mom, and he died 6 months after I was born
Oh, wow. Okay.
to a from a car accident. He ended up having pneumonia, and he died in the hospital. So
Okay.
uh,
Sorry to hear that
I
too.
never got, to meet him, but my dad was much older than my mother.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a whole nother story in itself. But um, my dad was born in 19, I believe it was 19. I want to say 12.
Okay.
So just to
Yeah.
give you some idea of what that, what
Yeah.
my parents were like. My mother was born in, I want to say 1933.
Okay. So you're a little age different there. Okay.
You know, old fashioned type childhood, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Well, not really, because he said, when you said your dad died 6 months after you was born?
yes, sir.
What's your
Well,
mom?
My mom she just passed recently, so she's been gone 7 years now.
okay.
I guess kind of recent for me, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Stats actually indicate that many young people in a situation without having a father at a young age, they tend to have issues with mental health, dropping out of high school, or behavior issues. How did you circumvent those caveats in your life?
so it wasn't like a traumatic event for me where I lost my dad after knowing him. So it was just my normal, just going through my everyday life without my father. My mom never remarried. Um, so if there was never really anybody else other than my siblings around,
Hmm.
like I said, my brothers were much older than me. So I got a lot of influence from them, mostly learning what not to do.
Okay.
Right?
But
Yeah.
I also learned a lot, took a little bit away from all of them. So I have three brothers and a sister. My dad also had some other children prior to marrying my mom.
Oh.
Um, I've only met, I've met all of them. Two of them have deceased. Um, I do have another sister, so there was a total. I grew up with four other siblings, and
Mm.
my dad had three other kids.
Okay.
I've only met the sister once, and I met her as an adult, and that was probably 10 years ago that I met her. I may have met her when I was younger. I just didn't know, the significance of who she was at the time because I I had to have met her when I was like in elementary school for the first time.
Mm.
Okay. Is
Now
she in
my other,
Gary? She in Gary?
she is in Georgia, but
Okay.
she graduated from high school in Gary, and I don't know when she left.
Mm.
Um,
Okay.
the communication with her is very scarce.
Okay.
So, and it's also scarce with my siblings that I grew up with.
I was
So,
just about to ask, how was that those relationships growing up?
growing up, so I was really close to my brother who passed. I felt like I was his shadow, and anybody who was around me when he was alive would testify to that as well.
Hmm.
Uh, but my sister felt like there was a second mom growing up with her in the house. Um, I was 5 years old when she graduated from high school, and I've got some friends whose parents are just maybe a year or two, maybe older than my siblings that knew my siblings from high school.
Hmm.
Um, it's just kind of weird when everybody's thinking that your mom is your grandma and stuff like that as a kid,
Yeah.
but I didn't know any different.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So being the youngest, and you said your brother you were close to, did you play sports as a way to help you cope with things, or were you into sports at all?
I was very much into sports. Um, I remember basketball was my first love.
Mm.
Um, None of my brothers, my one brother played football and he ran track. He played tennis and golf. Um, so nobody else was really into sports much except for me and my brother that's closest to me in age. but I started playing basketball, and that was the first sport I picked up. And then I ran cross country.
Mm,
I did anything that they had to offer at school just to have something to do.
yes.
Mhm. Get out the house and do something.
Yeah, I played football, but basketball was the one for me. I wasn't really good at it. I just really enjoyed playing it.
Yeah.
I haven't played a year. Um, I tried to play outside after COVID. That didn't work out. It just my body just can't take that concrete anymore,
Yeah.
and I haven't found a place really to play it in. And I might have played a pickup game probably a year ago,
Mhm.
over a year. That's probably the longest layoff I've ever had from not playing basketball, and it's impacted me physically and mentally.
Mm, wow.
Mhm.
So yeah, basketball is a pretty good sport. Now, how tall are you? I can't tell from the video.
I am 5'11".
5'11". So you probably ran the point guard.
Um, I would say so. I play with a lot of guys. I rarely played basketball with guys that were over 6'3".
Okay.
Um, it's funny that you say that maybe I was the point. I was not. So when I first picked up basketball, I was in elementary school, and I was basically taught it from the center standpoint.
Hmm.
Um, the way I watch the game is kind of through the eyes of a center, but I've always liked the point guard position because I can
Mhm.
kind of play a little bit of everything. I can
Right.
dribble a bit, I can shoot a little bit, I can pass very well, rebound and defend. Um, I don't have good handles. I'm not the best shooter,
Y'all
Mm.
talking
but
over my head now. What now? What's the center? What's the center? What's that guy doing?
he's typically the tallest person on the team.
Okay.
Um,
What's his role? What's he supposed to do? Score, pass? What's he doing?
He sells a popcorn. He just-
typically, the way the game is played now, um, he's probably just rebounding and defending.
Okay.
Unless he can shoot, that's pretty much all he's doing right now.
Okay.
Mm.
But you think about, I know you may know who Shaquille O'Neal is.
I do. I know him.
So you know him.
That that's a guy who that's a center.
Okay. He's a big dude, so that makes
Joel-
sense. Right, to be
Yeah,
that.
Joel Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns. Not sure if you know those guys, but
She don't know them.
Little bit. It's got a little fuzzy, but I got it.
yeah, those guys are still playing right now. So,
Okay.
but yeah, playing through the center position. I always saw myself as a point forward, kind of like LeBron and Scottie Pippen.
Mm.
Okay, LeBron.
That I saw myself on the court, but
I see.
Okay. All right.
nickname
Well,
was 6'10".
he was who?
My nickname was 6'10" on the court.
Say what?
6'10". They said I played like I thought I was 6'10".
Okay.
So you had that Barkley type game. Okay.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't. I wasn't there, but the game looked like it.
Okay. Now, did you play above the rim at all, or was you just
Now I barely touched the rim.
okay?
I could step backboard, but I can't. I never put one down. I got a couple of friends that's not too much taller than me. 6'1" guy. He could jump out the gym. Couple
Mhm.
of.
Yeah. I know people like that. So yeah.
I wasn't that guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna have to have a part 2 of this because my system is telling me we need to reset. So we're gonna wrap this up as section 1, and then we're gonna come back and put the rest of this episode on here. So if you guys bear with me just one moment.